Years ago, after listening to Glenn Beck's book review of Dr. Cleon Skousen's The 5,000-Year Leap, a book that lists 28 principles of why our American form of government is exceptional. I went out and purchased the book, and I must say that it has changed my view and my life, really. I have become more involved in government because of the book. And there are two principles that have probably been most instrumental in shaping my mind. The second principle: if free people cannot survive under a Republican Constitution unless they remain virtuous and morally strong. And the third principle: the most promising method of securing a virtuous and morally stable people is to elect virtuous leaders. And that's not enough. I've got an organizational chart of our state's government posted on my refrigerator as a daily reminder of what my responsibility is. You see on that chart, the citizen is listed as the, I don't know what you call the chief executive officer. Those that are in charge. We're over the governor, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. That means the buck stops with us. So that said, as often as issues arise in Augusta, I take it personal. I'll make phone calls, I'll send emails, and if need be, I take the time and speak to the legislators face to face. Recently, some allegations of sexual abuse have come to light because of a piece written by Chris Busby in the Ballard. And Representative Dylan Bates was asked to resign. And last Thursday, the legislature convened, and a House order was presented by Representative Paula Sutton. And so before the legislature convened, I sent out an email. Madam Speaker, given Representative Paula Sutton's House orders for tomorrow regarding Representative Dylan Bates' alleged sexual misconduct with high school girls, and given the information covered on the George Hale Rick Tyler program on August 9th, given the hypersensitivity of our culture to sexual harassment and sexual abuse, thanks to the relatively recent revelations fostered by the Me Too movement, given that Representative Bates maintains his innocence despite 3 separate reports of child abuse from teachers at the Maine Girls Academy, given that you have exhorted Representative Bates to resign from his position in the legislature, it appears that you must have substantive reason to warrant the demand. As a concerned parent, I would like to know how extensive your investigation into the matter has been since you've first learned of the allegations back in March. What has your office done to ensure the safety of other students in Mr. Bates' care? What evidence do you have to demand Bates' resignation, and when did you first become aware of it? Given the seriousness of the charge, why is it that Majority Leader Herbig, Assistant Majority Leader Golden, and yourself have done relatively nothing to address the allegations until earlier this month? If it is accurate that there is absolutely no truth to the claims of sexual misconduct, what has changed for you to demand that Bates resign? Representative Bates maintains that the anonymous allegations against him are baseless and false. Isn't he entitled to the presumption of innocence? Why would you demand a resignation before convening the House Ethics Committee to at least review the merit of the claims? Why would you kick Bates to the curb and leave him to fend for himself if he truly is innocent? For what it's worth. So that went out Wednesday night, and Thursday morning, Representative Sutton stands before the House chamber and delivers the rationale behind her House order as follows.
The chair recognizes the representative from Warren, Representative Sutton.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. I'm going to read from the Legislative Code of Ethics. Legislative service is one of democracy's worthiest pursuits. A Maine legislator is charged with civility and responsibility conduct inside and outside of the State House, commensurate with the trust placed in that legislator by the electorate. When I was first elected to the legislature, I took this very seriously, and it was my understanding that everyone in this body was of the same mindset. That is why I have presented this House order into the investigation. We have two issues that we're looking at, basically. We have the safety and well-being of students, young girls, and other persons. That's one issue. The other issue is the fact that it is concerning that people can be forced out of their jobs with no proof. In the United States of America, a person is presumed innocent until proven guilty. These are the reasons that I would like to have this matter referred to the House Ethics Committee. I've strangely been unable to find much information about this committee. I don't understand why we would have a committee like this in existence if we were not to utilize it. We need to hold ourselves to a higher standard, and we need to act on this matter. The fact that Representative Bates has resigned may be interpreted in a variety of ways. I and others feel that this issue should be looked at specifically to determine how it was handled in the very beginning when leadership became aware of its existence. We owe it to the people of this state to ensure that they understand that every effort was made through communications and investigations, lines of questioning, what happened and when did it happen. I do not like a precedent being set that a person is asked to resign from their job with no evidence of a person who is willing to be named. Thank you.
Immediately after speaking to her motion, Representative Sutton has a seat, and Representative Lucchini rises to essentially can the motion by motioning to table until later in the day's session. Representative Fredette offers a zero leadership, requests a roll call, and then Representative Lockman stands to give a seminar on what real leadership looks like in the House.
The chair inquires as to why the member rises.
I have a question and request for clarification about the pending motion.
The member may proceed.
The tabling motion, would it be accurate to say that a vote in favor of tabling this motion is a vote in favor of covering up the cover-up?
The member is out of order.
The House has a vote, 72 to 51, passed Lucchini's motion to table until later in the day's session. Representative Fredette, the minority leader, and Representative Espling, the assistant minority leader, throw in with the Dems. There is one lone Democrat dissenter, Gay Grant. So they vote to circle the wagons. After getting wind that Representative Fredette was not interested in investigating the Bates matter any further, I sent out this email early Thursday morning. Representative Espling and Representative Fredette, it is my understanding that you would like to put Representative Bates' alleged sexual misconduct behind you. As a husband, father, and veteran, honor, courage, and commitment mean everything to me. Truly, there's nothing of inherent value without them. I contend that our country and our state have had enough of those who cannot or will not lead. Many of us are sick of the complicity. Now is a time for contenders, not cowards. It is a time for men to stand up and take responsibility for all areas that they alone have direct responsibility for, and in all the others, to seize the initiative. You may not be in control of the House, but you can make your presence be felt with great clarity. Perhaps you may even elicit a response that can be used for future endeavors. Regardless of the outcome, the record will reflect the truth. I'll be looking for your leadership later on this morning. Please don't disappoint. Needless to say, both Representative Espling and Representative Fredette failed miserably on Thursday to offer any kind of leadership. Now, this might not be an issue for you, but there are others. And if Augusta is to be cleaned up, if we are to rectify the conditions of our state government, it's going to take more of us to be involved. We need to take the responsibility of being in control seriously and holding our legislators accountable. So I'd like to encourage you to reach out and contact yours. The Maine.gov website is an invaluable resource. You can find your legislator's email address, phone number, and you watch the House sessions real time, the Senate sessions real time. It's a great place to start doing your homework.